Yo, what up? This is Bustian from BossLifeHacks.com, and I'm still here in beautiful Tenerife, Spain. And today I want to talk about something really important. I want to talk about why you should be selfish. Okay? I've been reading a book quite a lot called The Selfish Gene from Richard Dawkins. And inside of that, there's some very interesting concepts, that talk about why it's actually a good idea to be selfish, etc., right? So first of all, I'll explain this sort of evolutionary idea, from the book, and then I'll give you a few examples on where you can apply this and how you can become more selfish, in your day-to-day life to produce better results, both for yourself and for others, right? Also, I'll be rocking the amazing ninja style pirate hair. Today I was thinking about pirates a lot, so I just decided I'll be a fucking pirate for the day, right? So, Richard Dawkins, The Selfish Gene, right? Amazing book, haven't finished it yet. It's like 16 or 18 hours on Audible. But there's already a lot of interesting things, right? And I'll just tell you the basic idea, which is the notion that, altruism and selfishness, what is better? What's better for sort of evolvement of the whole species, or planet or whatever. He talks about the gene, and how long genes last. And if you look at it like that, for example, in the human society, in today's society, altruism is considered awesome, right? Sacrifice oneself for the benefit of other. That's like a higher goal, higher purpose, right? And this will be now a very simplified explanation. If you want the full thing, go read the book. But basically, if the whole society, would be altruistic, so if everybody would firstly sacrifice themselves in order to save others, then by definition, as soon as a mutation happens, and somebody comes that's not altruistic, he would very quickly eradicate all the altruists, right? Also, because we would kind of like, you would kind of count on those altruists to save you, in quotation marks. The offspring in the end would be, like a little less powerful, a little less potent. So in the course of several long lifetimes, or even millennia, or like a lot of time, that, is needed for the genes to change and etc. We would actually go back as a species because of the altruism. However, if you are selfish, if you, make sure that you do have the best resources, the best, whatever, you make sure that your offspring has the best things. That in turn will make their offspring have the best thing. And, they will sort of, it's funny to talk about this like this, but, then your offspring will multiply more. And then there's going to be more people like that overall in the world later on, right? It's beneficial for the species. So yeah, I hope I explained that notion well. Being selfish doesn't mean like that you want to be a dick or anything like that, but it just means that you first of all look at yourself, your resources, energy, etc., and you want to maximize that, because that in turn will actually make the human species as a whole evolve better in the future, right? Now, I know this was very abstract. Now let's go to some specifics of how you can actually apply that in your day-to-day life. And the first thing I would like to start with is something I learned a lot about in the psychotherapy circles I was involved with a lot. And it's basically emotional vampires and sort of emotional resilience and similar things, right? What I want to say by that is, we all have different tolerances, for our friends, family, etc. And when people sort of ask, to share some of these problems with you or whatever, like, you always have a choice, you can listen, or you can simply, be a dick and say, okay, it's been too much. Let's not talk about that. Like, I can't talk about that right now, And again, from a lot of perspectives, this would sound very selfish, right? It's like, oh, you're a bad friend, you're a bad partner, you're a bad, family member because you don't want to listen to my problems right now. But on the other hand, it's very healthy, because if you feel, like weird inside, if you feel that like you don't have the capacity to listen to that right now, then like it's better to be selfish, because A, you won't be able to help them anyway because you have all those feelings, and B, you will further decrease your emotional capabilities, right? You will be even worse off than before. It's like trying to drink from a cup that is almost empty, right? It simply does not work. So the first thing where you might want to consider being selfish is, when people sort of ask you for help or they want to unload their emotional burden on you or similar things like that, really think about it. Do I feel like I really want to take that on, or is it maybe better to say stop? All right, the next thing is business. A lot of the times you have this thing, oh yeah, like let me help them out for free, they're a friend. Let me do this for lower price, they're a friend. Um, Again, this can make sense at some points, but again, you have to really see, right? Like, how big is your cash flow? Can you afford to like do this favor to somebody? Can you take it on right now? Or maybe you find yourself even, still business related, you have a skill like web design or whatever, videography, right? Pictures, and people will start to ask you to do shit for them for free all the time, right? Can you take some pictures of me? You're so good with that. Can you create a website for me? You're so good for that. And then again, you have the option like you say yes or you say no, right? And again, if they're a super good friend, if you do have the time, sure, like help them, you will have this, favor in return. However, if you're struggling to meet your ends meet, was that even the right term? I don't know. Like, if you're struggling to pay the rent, like if you can't afford, like shit that you really want, like then it's maybe not the time where you want to be helping out friends. Maybe it's time to be fucking selfish and seek out clients who will pay you fucking good money instead. And first take care of yourself, and then once you have that taken care of, then you can dedicate a few hours every week or whatever your capacity is to sort of helping out your friends, right? Another general thing here would be like, if you're thinking about doing something with a discount for a friend business wise, I would say do two things. Either just do it for free and don't expect anything for them, it's just a favor for a friend, or charge them the same as you would any normal client. Just like if they're a good friend, they will understand. Just present the facts, be like, look, dude, or look, girl, like here's the deal. Like this takes a lot of effort. Right now, like I still need my clientele. I do a fucking kick-ass job. I can do for you as well, but I'm gonna have to charge you like I would normally. Like that's just how it is. I'm sorry. You'll still get a super sick service, but I can't like do it for free right now. So that's a sort of thing what you can do in business. Okay, next one that I'm really passionate about is being nice to people, right? Being nice to people, and like I'm a nice guy, so I really feel for that. But basically, you don't owe anybody anything, right? Like you don't have to be nice, like if you have a bad day and you're tired and like you go to some place, like you don't fucking have to be nice. You don't have to be like, please, thank you, like you don't have to stand up for somebody else in the bus. Like fuck all that politeness and being nice to people just for the sake of being nice, right? If you feel like it, do it, but otherwise feel free to be a dick. Like who cares? Like I'm not saying that like you call fucking names to people, but I'm just saying that when you feel, and this ties back to the first one, like how big your emotional load is, etc. If you sort of feel like that, like you like after a long day of work, like you're tired, like you like don't use like the last drop of your energy that you have just to make yourself to be nice to somebody, because nobody cares, right? Like it's if people, if you're a customer in a restaurant or somewhere else and people take you like being a little cold or not overly like super fucking nice, like if they take that personal, that's their problem, like nobody says you have to be nice all the fucking time, right? So just like if you feel like being nice, be nice, otherwise fuck it. Like really, like don't waste your emotional energy and all of that on being nice, because it doesn't really matter, right? Next one, which I think is really good as well, I took that from Tim Ferriss actually, and I think he got it from somebody else, I'm not sure, but it's basically saying when somebody asks you to do something, which is connects to all of the other things as well, you have two choices. Either you say hell yes or fuck no, right? Those are just like little intensifiers that will help you distinguish between what you really can and want to do and between what you just say yes because, again, you want to be nice, but it's like you can't actually perform, right? For example, super busy schedule, you know, like you're doing all this shit, and a friend asks you to, I don't know, like translate something or whatever the fuck, right? To drive somebody somewhere. Like, I don't know, like they ask you for something and you kind of feel like I don't really want to do this right now, right? So when you go through that request in your head, think about it. Is that like, hell yeah, like I'm so excited and pumped, I want to do it? Or I'm like nah, like I don't know, I'm kind of meh. Or you're like, fuck no, like I would hate that, right? Like those are all like the different levels. But what Tim Ferriss arguments is that you should only say yes if it's like hell yes, right? If somebody asks me like, I don't know, like, do you want to go, like, I don't know, like, do you want to rent a motorbike and like race around all these fucking curves on Tenerife's and shit? I'll be like, fuck yes. Like, doesn't matter how much work and shit I have and everything else, like I'm gonna go on that motorbike ride, right? But if somebody's like, hey, like, do you wanna, you know, work on this new like videography project or something, I'm like, yeah, it sounds kind of cool, but you know what, I'll say no for now, and then hit me back like in another week or so. You know, like it just doesn't work, right? It doesn't work because you have too much shit. You say yes just because you want to be nice, but then later on that will hit you, and it will hit you hard because you're not even, you know, you're not producing as much as you want to be, you know, like your life is not in balance yet, and yet you still take on other shit that you don't need, right? So again, being selfish here is the way to go, right? Now, the next thing, which is kind of classic, I won't lose a lot of words with that, is lending money to people. Like, if you lend money to people, like, just like don't expect it back. Like, that's how it works, right? If you lend it to somebody, and even if they're friends, like good friends, family members, like don't expect it back. Like, that's just how it is. And if you can't lend without not being able to expect anything back, then don't lend. You know, like if you need that money for rent next month, like don't fucking lend, because you know you might not see it, and then you have a fucking problem again, right? So again, all in all, this was the pirate Bustian from Tenerife, Spain. Today I talked about why it's good to be selfish. I'm not saying altruism doesn't have any role in the society. Of course it does. So, you know, don't take this, you know, like the wrong way. And I'm sure some people will, but whatever, right? I don't care. I can be selfish, right? I'm just saying that in different parts of your life, or day-to-day activities, business proposition, emotional loads, in many, many circumstances, it's actually very, very good to be selfish, to say no, to not be too nice, to stop giving a fuck, you know, to be a dick maybe even. It does not matter, right? Because it is in your best interest and in the best interest of the species as a whole to first think about yourself, to first make sure you have all the right things going, you know, in your life, in all the areas, etc. And then from that abundance, from that, you know, full cup, you can share to others as well. Anyway, let me know what you think about this video. Yeah, let me know some examples of when you have been selfish or when you weren't, but you were supposed to be. Let me reframe that. Give me some examples of the times where you should have chosen to be selfish but didn't, and then you had problems because of that. Anyway, I'll respond to all those comments. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you in the next video. Peace out.